Alright, what's going on internet? Thank you for joining me here again today. We're going to be having a bit of fun here today, building on our great CLI tool that we've already built in an earlier video. I'll link it. That helps us organize and move our files. So this time we're going to be looking at how we can build a bit more on top of that. So we're going to build out some logging for how we do that, with the idea that in the next part of this video we're going to actually build a dashboard to show us what we're building. Sorry, not what we're building, show us what we're moving. So the first section that we're going to be looking at today is how we can log the file movements so that we can pull some analytics. And then the next video we'll be reading our logs to build our dashboard. So let's jump in. I think the first most important thing for us to do is to understand what we actually want from our end product, the dashboard. So for me, I really want to see how many of each file type we've moved, and to give that some more meaning, we might split it by time period. So we'll say today, this week, all time. And this is going to be the foundation of what we log. So we've got our starting point here, which is awesome. So our main that shows us what the file list is, so it finds all the files in the current directory, and then iterates through and moves all of those files around for us into folders based on the file type. So with that in mind, let's see how we can look at creating some logs. Now, I think that the file we use for our logging is going to be important. So I think that a text file is not going to give us necessarily enough structure, same as a .log file. A database is probably overkill for what we're doing here, but I think a CSV is going to give us that sweet spot, and it's pretty easy to set up. It's easy to read, it's easy to edit manually if you need to, but the data has structure to it. So the script can have an easy time reading and interpreting that. So let's comment out our actual moving of things so that we can just work on saving stuff. But we'll see that it's still seeing the files here. All right. Now what we're going to want to do is build in a function for opening a log file. So define open log. We're going to try. I'm going to say log file equals open. To open the file, we'll say / and we'll just call it, open quote, we'll call it weird characters, organizer log.csv, and we're going to give it opening type of append. So A for append means, hey, just add it on the end. W for write would be, hey, whatever's in here, get rid of it, we're starting again from scratch each time we do it. We want to tack things on the end. And that way we can have a consistent look that is handling this regardless of the number of times you run the script. So it gives you persistence in terms of, hey, I ran the script on Tuesday and I ran it again on Thursday, and it knows what was already there from Tuesday. So when you look at your dashboard, you get that description over time. So in our log file, we're going to try and open that, and we will return log file if it is successful, and if it's not, except we'll print something went wrong with opening. Opening this file. Excellent. All right. So what this is going to do, when we call this, it's going to try look for this file and it's going to open it if it's there. If it's not there, it's going to do something pretty cool. It's going to create it for us. So this means that we don't need to have a special check in there to look for it. If it's not there, we create it. If it is there, we open it. We're just going to say in one call, open the file. If it's not there, it takes care of it for us, which I think is pretty awesome. All right. Next thing, let's call it. So I'll say log file equals open log. And now we're going to have our returned log file, which is this file, coming back to us in our main function. All right. So let's check what's in our folder right now. Save this, and we'll run our Python script. Oh, okay. So we've got an issue here. So log file equals open log. Our indentation appears to be wrong here. All right. So I'm not entirely sure. It says there's an unindent. I don't know what we've done there. Let's try running this again after deleting a few white spaces. No, alright. Unindent does not match the outer indentation level. It's saying this doesn't match. Interesting. Alright. So let's comment this line out and see if the script works. Okay, we can see that we've successfully read all of the different files that are in there. We've got a list of them. So now if we call this and we comment out everything in it, we should get an error saying, hey, nothing's been returned. Right. Ah, yep. That makes sense. Let's return something. Should have returned test as a string. Right, so it definitely doesn't like something going on here with our indentation. Everything else looks like it's got tabs, whereas this looks like it's got spaces. And I'm wondering if that is our issue. Is this just an issue from me copying this code from the old file? Yes, it is. All right. So that one was weird. But essentially it was, I think, the markdown behind this specific .py file. When I hit tab in VS Codium, it puts in 4 spaces. You can see that with the dots here. And I'm guessing wherever I copied this from, it was registering 1 tab, not 4 spaces, or 1 indentation potentially. I don't know what markdown it was using. But either way, we're good now. So let's get rid of this return test line. Get rid of these comments. Clear this. Let's try again. So I'll go ls to grab what's in there. We can see that there is currently no CSV file. We will run our Python script. Magic. And now if we go ls again, we can see that we have our organizer log file. All right. So now we've got a file. We're appending lines into it. Let me quickly open that file up for us. Currently, nothing in it because we haven't told anything to get written there. So, what's next? we're going to actually want to save something to the file. We've got a file now. We want to save something into it. So, jumping down here, what we're going to want to do is actually, yes, we're going to want to import the CSV library at this point. So we're going to import CSV because we're going to use a function specifically from that library. Jump in here. One of the reasons I like working with CSV in Python, easy to use library. I'm going to say writer equals csv.writer, or maybe I'll type it properly, maybe I won't, just keeping everyone on their toes. csv.writer, we're going to pass in our log file, and then we're going to say writer.write row file name. So what does this mean? We're using the writer function on the log file. We're saving as this. We're saying, hey, this CSV writer using the log file, write a new row into that file and have the file name which we've captured up here. So from here it's going to be like file 1, file 2, file 3, file 4, file 5. Let's save that, we'll run it. Oop, error. What's it not like? Doesn't like, the fact it didn't use camel case. Save. There we go. All right, let's take a look in our file. Ooh, perfect. We can now see that we've successfully added all of the file names. That's exactly what we wanted to see. So that is now working well. Let's build this out into a save function now, okay? So what we're going to do is come up here, define save log. We're going to pass in our log file, file name, don't make that mistake again, name and file type. We will say in here, well actually we'll just copy this and start off with. Too many tabs now. We're going to save this here, but we might put in something a bit more meaningful in what we're writing. So let's write a few things. So we've got a file name. We want our file name. We'll also probably want our file type. Let's go here, file type, and let's put a time date, well, just a date against it. That's going to help us with our calculation of, like I said, I wanted to understand the file types related to how many in a time period. We need a way of capturing that time period. So how we're going to do that? We're going to say from datetime import datetime. It's important to note that that's not going to give you the same result as just importing datetime. And that is around specifically what we're going to type in here. This will not work unless you say from datetime import datetime. Because we're going to go datetime.today strf time, and then we're going to put in year, month, day for our formatting. Forgot to close that off, and comma. Excellent. All right. So things are looking pretty good at this point, I think. We'll see in a moment. There's one more thing to do. We're going to want to close our file. Just best practice. The world will not end if we do not close this, but I think it's more around the using memory properly perspective. We want to be doing that, so excellent. Okay, now what we don't have here is save log being called, and pass in log file, file name, and file type. Save that. Let's now run this again. Boom. Whew, errors. Not a great place to start. What have we got? Alright, so this looks like an issue with how we're writing. Okay, so I'm thinking about this, and it's saying it's got an input-output operation on a closed file. So maybe we're closing the file in the wrong place. Let's comment that out. See if this works. Alright, so let's have a look in our log file. Ooh, this is looking good. So, what are we going to do about this? I think we rip this out of here, because if we think about this logically, we need to write to the file more than once. Therefore, the first time it should work fine. Next time, the file's not open anymore. So why don't we, once we're done, close that file at the end of the operation. How do we go? Magical. Ladies and gentlemen, we are killing it today. Absolutely winning. So that's it. We have now successfully written our logs. We've got things showing up in a CSV file. This we're going to need to get rid of, but this is all peak data. So with this, we're going to be able to understand our file types and when they were transferred, so we can do some operations, see how many files we moved on any day, on any month, of all time. Cheering. Alright. Now, if you found this helpful, click like. Drop a comment down below if you've got any questions, any comments, feedback. Drop a dislike if you think it sucked. Subscribe if you want to stay up to date with what's going. Hit the bell icon if you're particularly enthusiastic. And until next time, have a good one.